Shazam, parts 7 and 8, written by Jeff Johns, art by Gary Frank. This is the backup story to Justice League 14 and 15. And yeah, it's last issue. We, of course, had Billy reveal he got his powers to Freddy, and they saved a woman from getting mugged. Got $20 off of her, and it's just like, oh, sweet, let's get rich with these powers. But first, we got to pick up in New York City, where Dr. Savannah is talking to Black Adam on top of, as far as I could tell, like the Empire State Building. And he's just like, hey, this is a city, Black Adam. And Black Adam's like, I know what a city is, you pretentious prick. And it's like, where's all the magic? And he's like, there is no more magic. Your wizard took it away. And he's like, what? What do these people even do all day without magic existing? And so he comes down and he lands in the middle of traffic. A car crashes into him. He doesn't even notice. And then he looks over at a group of protesters, a bunch of people who lost their pensions because of some greedy Wall Street exec. And they're all protesting. And Black Adam's like, I don't think things have changed as much as you think they have. Pharaohs still live off their slaves. Where's this man that they're protesting? And Savannah's like, he's probably like up there somewhere. And Black Adam just goes foomp right up to his floor and grabs him, pulls him out the window and says like, goodbye, Pharaoh. Drops him on the ground where he splats. And everyone's just like, dear Lord, he's dead. Oh my God. And Black Adam comes down just like, slaves, you are free. And everyone scatters, and Black Adam's like, okay, I think I kind of need to learn their language so they can understand what I'm saying. So he reads Savannah's mind, gets their language, realizes they're all afraid, and he's just like, why do they fear the one who freed them? And Savannah's like, we gotta go. I can't do what I need to do while I'm in jail. So Black Adam punches the ground, gets down into an underground tunnel system, and apparently this is the only place where the Rock of Eternity can be accessed, is underground. So he takes out a little triangle from his belt, it turns into a doorway. Savannah's able to see the magic of it. And he's like, yes, the Rock of Eternity, I can get in. But his body starts hurting, and he's like, why am I suddenly in pain? And Black Adam's like, you aren't properly shielded to magic, so the fact that you're able to wield it now is probably like killing you really quickly. So I'm going to find something to stop you from withering, and it will be painful. And as he tries to walk into the Rock of Eternity, he can't get in. Turns out that only the champion can get in to the Rock of Eternity, and a new one of his course already been chosen. So we cut over to Billy, who Freddy is looking through a thrift store trying to find a big enough jacket that it can cover him up and he can just blend in. Find a big trench coat for $10, and they're like, all right, well, we still got $10 left. What do we get with it? And they both immediately agree on food. So cut to Brooklyn. A guy has ordered 4 extra large pizzas, and the delivery guy's banging on the door telling him to open it. Guy says, just come on in. Don't worry about it. And before we can, Black Adam busts in through the wall and just says, like, I can sense him here, the guy we're going to need. And he walks in the door, and there's just this super obese guy just chilling on his couch watching TV. And he's just like, well, what'd you do? Why'd you ruin my door? And he's just like, the wizard took away your powers, and I bet he took away your memory too. Anyway, I'm here to bring it back. And he electrifies the guy's brain, and all of a sudden, the guy becomes the eternal sin of sloth. He is the deadly sin personified. And he's like, here's the deal. When I was champion, me and you were enemies. But now I'm not champion, and I want to get rid of the new champion. So we're going to work together to get rid of the new champion. And once it's all done, we're going to tear down this world so I can rebuild it in my image. Sound good? And Sloth's like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. So Billy and Freddy get some burgers. They pretty much have used up all the money they have. They only have 75 cents left. And it's like, all right, well, if we want to get a case of beer, because I'm an adult now, got to get some more money. How are we going to do that? And Freddy suggests going to the ATM. And they're going to cast like a spell on it to make it spit out money. And so he says his word, Shazam, causes an electric bolt, and it starts spitting out money. But they literally cannot make it stop. So at that point, serendipitously, a group of bank robbers turn the corner from inside the bank. They see him standing there, and he just picks them up and throws them into the ATM to stop them. And as the other two fire upon him, he's just like, man, you guys ruined my jacket. And he throws them away too. So at that point, a couple onlookers are like, oh my God, he stopped those bank robbers. What's your name? And he's like, Shazam, we got to go. Bye. And he super speeds out of there. And turns out they dropped most of the cash. They only got like $40 or something like that. But that is enough money to go get some beer. So they make their way to a convenience store. And as they're in the convenience store, it also gets robbed. So he just bonks the guy on the head. And the guy's like, oh, what can we do to thank you? And they're just like, I bet beer is actually pretty not tasty. So let's just get all the junk food we can carry. So they do that. They walk out. And as they're walking out, they see a guy who's literally carjacking or hot-wiring a car. And so he takes the guy out, throws him against the stop sign, and he's like, what are the odds that I came across 4 crimes that soon after each other? And he hears a voice nearby saying like, that's actually pretty common amongst champions. And Freddy can't hear the voice, but Shazam looks over and he sees a mirror in a shop window, and it has a face on it of a woman. And it's just like, hi, yeah, we met at the Rock of Eternity. I briefly talked to you. You need to prepare yourself because Black Adam's on his way. And then it shatters all of a sudden with electricity. He's like, oh, gee, I didn't do that. I don't know what happened. And all of a sudden, Freddy looks over and Shazam started flying. Like, he's like, oh my God, I can fly. So Freddy grabs a hold and they fly over the city and just having a great time. And Freddy's like, oh, hey, sun's going down. We've literally been gone from home for like 24 hours now. We should probably get back. And Billy's like, no, I'm a superhero now. I'm never going to change back into a kid ever again. And Freddy's like, well, what about me? I can't be a superhero 24/7. He's just like, yeah, maybe you should go home. After all, I am an adult. It's kind of weird I'm hanging out with a kid like you. And Freddy's like, oh, all right. You're a super dick. Got it. Bye. And so he walks away, and Billy immediately feels bad. He tries chasing down Freddy, but before he can find him, he is immediately accosted by Black Adam, who tackles him to the ground and says, like, oh, at last, I finally found you. And that's where we leave off. I mean, it's still top tier. It's still great storytelling. It obviously at this point differs from the movie significantly more in that this is featuring Black Adam, whereas the movie, I think, just featured Savannah on his own. I like it, though. I think it is a great story being told. It's a great blueprint for Shazam as a character. It feels like a teenager doing these things in an adult body. It basically writes itself. I think that bringing in the 7 deadly sins is a interesting story beat. It sets Black Adam as the, he wants to do good things for people, but he's very by any means about it. So it's a little bit iffy on that front. So overall, I'm going to go with an 8.5 for these two. This is 2 chapters of this. It's fantastic part of it, and I'm honestly have not been upset with any part of the story yet. So looking forward to how it continues, and I think we're like halfway done. I think this is like a 15-part story, so we'll see how long it goes from here. Shazam chapters 9 through 12, written by Jeff Johns, art by Gary Frank. This is the backup story to Justice League, specifically 16 and then 18 through 20. Last time we left off, Billy basically told Freddy, hey, I'm going to stay Shazam full time. I'm never going to be a kid again. Go home. And then Black Adam showed up. So this issue picks up with Sloth, one of the sins, and Dr. Savannah making their way to a recycling center in order to get one of the brother-sister sins as well. And we see every time that Savannah uses his magic eye, he keels over a little bit. It causes him immense pain. So one of the foremen steps up and says, you guys can't be in here. And Sloth just puts him to sleep because that's kind of his thing. And then Sloth goes over and reaches towards one of the women, and turns out that it's actually Pride in disguise. And Sloth is like, hey, yeah, Black Adam's got a whole thing. We got to go. And this is like, okay, sweet. So then we see Billy versus Black Adam, and Billy's like, oh my God, you've got a much cooler costume. It's black. That's freaking awesome. Did the wizard give you powers too? By the way, how old are you? And at that point, Black Adam just punches him through a mall, more or less. And when he gets up, he realizes that he's bleeding, and he's like, oh, okay, this guy can, like, really do damage. That's an issue. So his electricity powers cause all the lights in the mall to go out, and Black Adam just bursts in and keeps on laying the hurt on him. And Billy tells him, like, you're going to hurt someone. You got to stop. He's like, yeah, I'm going to hurt you. And he's like, okay, fine, let's bring it. So he throws a punch at Black Adam, who immediately catches it. And he's like, okay, fine, what do you want? And Black Adam tells him, I want your power. I want it all now. And he throws Billy. And Billy, just out of fear, says Shazam, turns back into a kid. And Black Adam is unable to track him down. He's like, no matter what, I will find you. You cannot hide from me. So then we cut back to the Vasquez's home, and that one dude, whatever his name is, the real dickhead, he's there just basically saying, I know that Billy's the one who trashed my car. I don't know how he did it, but get him out here. Get him now. And he's brought the cops along with him, and they're just like, he hasn't been home, but there's no way that Billy is the one who did this. And all the kids are listening in, just like, oh God, like, what happened to Billy? What's going on? Did he actually do this? And they all look over to Freddy, who's just morosely watching TV. And they're like, Freddy, where is Billy? And he's like, don't know, don't care. Not my problem. So the one dickhead guy, like, is threatening Billy, and the dad is just not standing for it. They get into a little bit of a tussle. But before it can escalate too far, a bus comes flying from the city and lands, like, right in front of their house. And everyone kind of freaks out, like, what is going on? We see Black Adam is just walking down the street, tossing cars and trucks willy-nilly. It comes onto the news, and we see Freddy watching it saying, Black Adam saying, like, hey, I'm going to track you down, champion, and I am going to kill you. And at that point, the power goes out. And Freddy turns to all of his brothers and sisters and is like, guys, I know where Billy is. Billy is a superhero. His name is Shazam. And everyone's like, who the hell's Shazam? So they go into town. They don't tell their mom or dad. And Freddy's just kind of trying to explain what all happened. And they all think that he's joking up until they see all the lightning going off. And they're like, okay, I think we know where we can find him. And Billy is back at the zoo talking to Tawny. And he's like, do you think I should go back? Do you think I should fight? Like, I'm just a kid. This is all some big mistake. And all the kids show up and they're just like, hey, yeah, Freddy told us the truth. And Billy kind of freaks out for a second, but it's like, no, the dude on TV is trying to kill you. This is extenuating circumstances. Like, we got to figure out what to do here. And he's like, I'm not going to turn back into Shazam because then he's going to be able to find me. And Mary points out, like, well, he's tearing apart the city and people are getting hurt. Like, we need a hero. So Billy at that point takes all the kids and they go back to the same subway station. And he's like, the wizard told me I'm not supposed to be Shazam. It was never supposed to be me. We're just going to go back to the Rock of Eternity the same way we got there before. And he's going to pick a different person who can take on Black Adam. So at that point, Black Adam is greeted by Savannah, who has gotten together all 7 of the sins. And he's like, perfect. Well, time to end the world and also the new champion along with it. So the kids have made their way into the subway. The power's gone out again. And Billy's just trying to will the Rock of Eternity into happening. But nothing's going on. But then he hears the voice of Francesca, the woman in the mirror that he heard before, coming out of, I'm blanking on his name, but the iPad that the one kid brought along with. And they're all just like, okay, so Billy's going crazy. But Francesca says, okay, here's the deal. You can go back to the Rock of Eternity under 2 circumstances. 1, you got to be underground, which you are. And 2, you got to be Shazam. And he's like, well, if I turn into Shazam, Black Adam's going to kill me. He's like, right, so that's the problem. And she specifically says, like, look, you are connected to Black Adam. Because you're both champions, you're connected as family now. And Mary kind of hears the word family, and Billy's like, I'm sorry, did she just, like, is that something that's happening? But at that point, the subway starts collapsing down on itself, and Billy asks Francesca, like, who is this guy? Like, what's going on here? Can you tell me anything about him? And he's like, yeah, like, kinda. Here's the history of Black Adam. And we see in ancient Kahndaq, a bunch of evil, like, barbarians came in, and they were just terrorizing all the people there. There was this young kid named Iban who was forced in... Sorry, Amon, my bad. Ibak is the name of the evil guy. Amon, he was forced into slavery down in the mines, and he was praying for a miracle. And then one day his uncle showed up and said, like, I'm here to save you. Your mother and father, they're dead. So it's just us now. And one of the guards attacks the uncle, wounds him, but Amon doesn't abandon him. And they make their way deeper into the cave. Eventually they are trapped and they are summoned into the court of the wizard and a bunch of other gods. And Billy's like, oh my god, he's a kid. That explains everything. That explains why the wizard didn't want another kid. I can go talk to him. I can reason with him as Billy. And Francesca's like, that's not, I'm still telling the story. And he's like, no, don't worry, I got it. So he runs up the subway, just goes straight up to Black Adam, and he's like, hey, I'm Billy Batson. I'm the new champion. Like, look, I get it. You're scared. You want people to hurt because they hurt you as a kid, but like, that's not the way to do things. I get it. You're terrified. And Black Adam just picks him up by the head and says, you think I'm scared? You're a child. How dare you think you can compare yourself to me? Why would the wizard ever choose such a small, pathetic thing as you? You want to know my story? Here's what actually happened. And we continue on where we picked up, where the Rock of Eternity was actually like a public thing. Like, it was a place in the real world you could get to, and a bunch of sorcerers trained there. And Amon's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Why am I here? And the wizard says, I need a champion. All the people on this little court have their own champions. I want you to be mine. Do you accept? And he's like, I will, under the condition of you help my uncle who's bleeding out. And he's like, yeah, you can share the power with your family. It like goes through blood. Just go ahead, take the power, and you'll both be saved. And so they both take the power. They become champions of Shazam. And the uncle immediately comes back and be like, let's kill all the bad people. And Amon says, no, like, we have to show mercy. We have to be better than them. That's the whole point. We got to get justice, not revenge. And the uncle's just like, but like, please? And he's like, no, well, this is the way we got to do things. We have to share hope, not pain. And the uncle starts crying. And in the end, he ends up hugging his nephew. And the nephew says, I love you, Uncle Adam. And at that point, he's like, all right, let's go do it. Let's activate our powers and go save everybody. And so they step up and they say Shazam. But as he's doing so, Uncle Adam snaps Amon's neck and kills him. And he's like, that was the only way I was going to get enough power to free the world from those who enslave it. And that's what I'm going to do again. I'm going to take you out so I have all the power I need. At this point, the kids are looking on, seeing that he is not in a good spot. Apparently, Pedro knows how to drive a garbage truck. So they hop in a garbage truck and go to crash it into Black Adam, which frees Billy up enough that he's able to say Shazam again. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to run from you anymore, Black Adam. And he's like, yeah, I bet you're not. And we see that he has his hands on all the kids, his one in each arm, and then all the rest under his feet. And he's like, if you don't give me everything I want, I'm killing all of them. And that's where we leave off. So the finale of this is going to take place in Justice League 21. That's just entirely Shazam wrapping up the story. So look forward to that. But this, I mean, it's solid. It's always been solid. The art's fantastic. The writing's great. The pacing to it, you just got this sort of like, as much as I hate to say it because it is just the movie, it's got this cinematic feel to it. I love it all. It's a great told story. So I'm going to give this section of them 9 through 12, like, I got to give it like a 9 out of 10. It's great. It's a fantastic way to tell the new origin of Shazam. Just broken up in these smaller chunks, but still great all throughout. So I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to the finale some point next month.